Welcome to Make Things Happen with Diana Pagano. I came from struggle, living life on survival mode, and later found myself living in that same vicious cycle. Life is meant to be so much more than settling. I'm a business leader, speaker, and author. I have made it my life's mission to share all the tools and techniques that changed my life because I know they will for you too. Are you ready to stop dreaming for what could be and turn those dreams into reality? I thought so. Well, get ready to live life on your terms. Welcome to Make Things Happen podcast. On today's episode, I have a very special guest with me today, and I'm sure you've heard of him. And if you haven't, well, you're in for a real treat. He's an author, he's a speaker, he is quite the YouTube sensation, where he started with just 25 followers his first year on YouTube. Without further ado, meet Evan Carmichael. Hello,
Ready to make
Evan.
things happen. Thanks for love, Diana.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited. So just some little things that I've heard that people are talking about you and all that you're doing. And I know that you're on a mission to help millions of people to really just believe in themselves and entrepreneurs and their journey. You're already impacting millions of people worldwide, and it's so inspiring to see your passion and how that really does come through. Gary Vee calls you the DJ that inspires people, and Ed Millett calls you the modern day Napoleon Hill. Love Napoleon Hill. So what an honor. Thank you so much for being here on today's episode, and I can't wait to get into some really juicy content here.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
So I know you, when you think about when you started, Evan, and I've heard a lot about your story, even some of your books, which we're going to talk about. But when I think about that, you shared, that you were an introvert once upon a time and how shy you were. What made you just go for it?
Well, I still am an introvert. It doesn't come out on days like this, but what made me, again, I didn't come out of it, but introverts want to serve. I still want to serve. And so when I saw people on TV like Kevin O'Leary or Mark Cuban or people who seem to be super type A personality, almost loudmouths, like, okay, well, that's not me, so I guess I can't do it. And then I realized, no, there's other ways to do it too. And introverts still want to serve. We still want to help. And so what I've done is just kick myself forward to say, hey, I'm on a mission too. And I can too. And so
Absolutely.
I just started.
I love that. I love when you say I can too. And I think that that's the biggest thing in entrepreneur journey is that we look at what other people are doing and you think, oh, there's no way I can do that thing. And I love, just hearing a little bit about your story. And I want you to share it today is that, it's all about little steps that we do to really cultivate what we are all here to do. I know, as I mentioned before, you have almost 4 million subscribers on YouTube, which is quite impressive. And you started in one of your articles, I had read that you said you in your first year, I think it was 2009, maybe it wasn't your first year, but in 2009 you had 25 subscribers. And I thought it was so awesome to see that you said at one point you just had like 3 people comment on your stuff. It was like your mom, your sister, and one other person. So talk to me about the journey of when you began and what that felt like when you had a little following and you said, gosh, what was your end goal at that time? Like when you started, maybe you didn't have an end goal, but when you had only 25 subscribers, did you always know I'm going to take this big? What was your main focus?
Yeah, if you go to my website, you'll see the year over year. I made a graphic of where I was every year. And so year 1 was 25.
Yes.
Year 5 was like 2,000 or something. So it was still, 5 years of doing something. You still only have 2,000 subscribers to the channel. And I was making content. I mean, I wasn't very good, so that doesn't help.
Well,
I learned a lot by doing.
Right.
And I didn't, when I started, YouTube wasn't even a thing. There was nobody who had 1 million subscribers. People weren't doing long form content. I like video. I'm a visual learner. And so I'd much rather see something than hear it. And YouTube was the only place at the time that did video. So I went there. It wasn't that I was Nostradamus or had some prediction or knew it was going to work out. I just wanted to help. And I figured, hey, if 50 people watch the video, that's 50 people. It's like you go to a library, you do a speech, there'll be 50 people there. And so I thought, you know what, if 50 people watch a video, for 1 or 2, hopefully it's a life-changing video for them.
Of course.
And just keep going.
I love that.
So I had no huge plan. I didn't know it was going to blow up. I'm not that smart. I just kept going.
You just kept going. So when you first started, I obviously don't have a video. I guess we could look and see what was your video in 2009. What was that first year on YouTube? What was your content really based of?
It started off as me I think your purpose comes from your pain. So I think whatever you struggle the most with is what you want to help other people through. And so I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I wanted to make the path easier for other entrepreneurs. And so it was a combination of me just sharing advice that I had learned as an entrepreneur, as well as showcasing the stories of famous entrepreneurs that I looked up to and learned something from. So here are lessons that you can learn from Walt Disney and Milton Hershey and people who've had a lot of success. That's what saved my business, was trying to model success. And so I tried to make it easier for entrepreneurs to do that too. So those are the early videos. My first video, I don't know how many views it has now. It was not popular. It's got more views now because people want to go back and see what was the first video, but it's not like it blew up out of the gate. It was pretty bad. So yeah, it was that mix of content.
And I know during your journey, and we all as entrepreneurs, small or big, we go through our challenges, our fair share of challenges. And I think that when you mentioned your pain, I feel the same way. You know, the way my instability growing up in San Diego, a family of 6, and I feel like a lot of that kind of gave me that drive. And I know you talk a lot about, you know, your mom or your dad or your parents telling you that you're Evan Carmichael, you know, and you can do anything. And I think that those things that we were instilled, you know, is so important. That doesn't mean, right, that you go through life and everything comes easy. So what advice do you have for an entrepreneur starting their journey where they know they believe in themselves, but things happen and challenges happen? And oftentimes, even percentage-wise, most people that do goals, there's a small percentage that actually follow through on those goals. What would you say to somebody like that starting their journey as an entrepreneur that maybe doesn't not believe on themselves, but still has challenges that come up?
Well, there's going to be challenges with anything that you do. Anything big, anything worthy is going to have a bunch of challenges. Otherwise, it's,
of course,
you know, it's probably not worth doing.
Right.
Remember the why. I think a lot of entrepreneurs get into business just trying to make money. And if that's your only goal, you're probably going to lose.
Right.
Because you're going up against people who actually love the thing. Like if you're hosting a podcast like you are now, right?
Right.
If you're hosting a podcast, you better like talking to people. You better like asking questions. I mean, you've done research. You better like researching people. Because if you don't, other people who do love it are going to win and you're going to struggle and suck, right? So like for anybody who wants to start a podcast, you're going up against not just Joe Rogan and everybody else, but you're going up against Diana, who's doing it, right? So you better love it. And a lot of people don't love it. They're just chasing opportunity. Next is, you know, if you're going to quit on something, make sure it's because you just don't love it anymore. Because if you quit on something that you love, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. You're going to look back and say, I really wish I just kept going. And so for me, I just kept going. I wasn't having a lot of success. It wasn't working out in the early days. I was introverted and had a whole bunch of limiting beliefs around that. And I was too shy and embarrassed to ask for help. I thought I had to do it all on my own. Those are like major mistakes that I wish I had learned earlier. But as long as you still love the thing, then you have to keep going. Otherwise, you're going to regret quitting on your dream.
Absolutely. I love that you said that sometimes, you know, even as an entrepreneur, you might believe and you still have challenges. So what keeps you going? It sounds like it's your why. Obviously, you're doing amazing. You're very successful on YouTube and you do great, you know, trainings that you offer to anyone looking to grow their, you know, content and awareness of what they're doing. I love when you mentioned that you got to love what you're doing. And if you don't want to do it anymore, kind of interesting story this weekend, Evan, my boys are hockey players, big competitive hockey players. And we travel, it's crazy hockey season. And my 9-year-old said that he wanted to do baseball. And this was like, you know, 3 months ago. And he was all obsessed with it, probably in the fall, actually. And so it was time to do baseball. And he says, I don't want to do it anymore. I mean, it was pretty crazy at my house, Evan, with his, you know, not a temper tantrum, but he's so passionate about hockey. I mean, he wakes up at 5 a.m. sometimes and goes in our basement and shoots puck. And I'm like, what is this kid doing? It's a Saturday. Can we sleep until 6:30 for God's sakes? And so I love that you mentioned that, whether you're a kid or obviously a parent or even an entrepreneur, that when you don't love it anymore, it's like, it's okay to maybe do something different. And so I think for me, and kind of what you said, I told my Anthony, I said, Anthony, you were so adamant that you wanted to try baseball, and I don't want you to look back and regret, because the biggest pain that I think for any of us, I don't care how old you are, what you do, is regret. And living in your life, whether you're 95 one day or whatever age, and even at 45, you can look back and say, I did the thing that I thought I wanted to do at the time, even if it doesn't work out. So I love that you said that so much. Has there ever been a time that you thought you wanted something, you went for it and realized you didn't want to do it anymore, but it was okay because you at least did it?
Probably lots in little micro moments. Even the idea of being an entrepreneur, I thought I wanted to be a venture capitalist and investment banker, and that's what I went to school for. And I had opportunities coming out of school. And the hardest decision in my life was, do I go join this high paying 6 figures out of school investment bank, or do I make $300 a month and have 30% of this startup company? And I thought, you know what, I can always go get another job, but I didn't want to live with the regret of not knowing. So even if the most likely outcome was failure, I'd rather know and fail than not know.
Right.
And ever since then, I just take that approach. Like, I'd rather know and fail than not know. And I don't attach, I failed probably at so many things. I fail more than I win at things.
Right.
But it's like, I'd rather know. I'd rather fail and know than not know, because otherwise you have those regrets.
Absolutely. Now, I know with your mission, which it really inspired me to reach out to you to begin with, was like, you see a lot of people doing amazing things. Joe Rogan, so many things. There's an authenticity that I saw in you, Evan, and that's just me being sincere. There's a lot of people doing great things, have like millions of followers, and to their own regard deserve all the credit. I really believe in purpose-driven stuff that I'm doing, and the things that I like to collaborate with people that there's really true passion and authenticity in what they do. And so with your mission, and I know you're impacting millions of people worldwide already, what was that pivotal moment in your journey? I know you mentioned like I wanted people to know, but is there a moment that you could share, a pivotal moment in your life that significantly shaped your mission to help others believe in themselves?
In 2014, on my website, again, the graphic, that's when I started to see a lot of growth on my channel, and two key things happened. One, I married my wife, Nina.
Awesome.
And just recognizing how important it is to have somebody who supports you in your personal life on the things that you're trying to do professionally. I think it's really hard to win as an entrepreneur if your partner is not on board. Doesn't mean they have to be in your business or even be an entrepreneur, but supporting you in what you're doing. I didn't realize how valuable and important that was. But looking back, you obviously see the numbers, and okay, yeah, having Nina by my side really made a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And I also started asking for help. So I met a gentleman named Steve who helped a lot with my positioning and giving me feedback on my videos. And it was the first time that I had the courage to say, hey, I may not be able to figure this out myself, and I'm going to go ask for help. So in 2014, both those things happened. I married Nina, I met Steve, and then the channel and the business just started to take off.
Amazing. We know they do say behind every successful man, there's a even better woman behind him. So it sounds like you had the best parts of both sides, a mentor or someone that helped you through, on that front. And then of course your partner. I think it's so vital to have that support. And so I love that you're saying that, because when people are starting off, including myself, back when I was an entrepreneur in Scottsdale, Arizona, I'm from San Diego, but I moved to Scottsdale before I moved to Connecticut, and I sold real estate, and I was breaking records for rookie agents, and I thought I had it all figured out. But I also felt that I had to take on the world. Like, I did everything. No one else can figure this out in my business but me, and being a perfectionist in a way to a fault. So asking for help and guidance is out there. Mimicking success, we've heard this time and time again, is out there. And I see why, you're being referenced as like the Napoleon Hill in modern day, because what you do, and you have such good content that you're sharing that could help other people. It doesn't have to be your content, but you're sharing it because at some point it probably resonated or made a difference and impacted you as well. So I love that. Is there something that you could share currently, if someone is on YouTube and they're doing purpose-driven content, whether they have a podcast or maybe they're just, doing whatever else, lights their heart on fire, that they could do that would be able to grow their audience, make a bigger impact? What would be the 2 to 3 things that you would highly recommend that somebody do if they're starting out?
I try to figure out how to monetize as quickly as possible. Okay. I'm an entrepreneur. I think if you're only doing things that are helping, but you have no business plan attached to it, you end up struggling and not continuing. So I think you have a duty to figure out how to turn it into something that generates an income, so that you could do it more, like you can go from part-time to full-time, then you can hire a team. Me with 60 whatever people on my team, I can do a lot more than just me evenings, weekends, trying to figure something out because I'm not making money off of it. So, purpose first, and then making money needs to be in the top 5. It just can't be number 1.
Right.
So what's the business model attached to it? And if you don't have a business model attached to it, then most people will quit, because you have to figure out how to make money. So you figuring out what is the business model. After that, I look at how do you stay consistent on making the content. A lot of people start and stop and start and stop and start and stop.
That's
and
true.
Life gets in the way, and they're on fire for a little bit, and then something happens, and then they don't make content for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then it's so hard to start up again. And so the consistency game really, really, really matters. Right. And then if I had a third, I'd just say, remember, just keep coming back to why you're doing it. So
The why.
Look at the comments. Yeah, look at why you're doing it. Look at the comments. Look at the people you're impacting. If 75 people watch your video, don't treat it as oh my god, I suck. Only 75 people watch that video. I'd be like, 75 people watch that video. That's pretty cool. Like, if you stood on the street and started speaking, you're not going to have 75 people stop and stand around and listen to you. I always focused on who I was serving instead of who I wasn't, and it made a big difference.
I love that. So the focus is, who is your ideal customer? Who are you serving? And one of the things that I think is huge, and I'm a keynote speaker as well, when I speak on stage or I'm talking to somebody and they're not motivated and they're like, oh, I want to make sure you motivate the crowd. And so I believe, and I wonder where you are with this, motivation, I feel like Zig Ziglar said it best, it's like showers, you got to shower every day. It's like, I'm motivated on Sunday. I saw that speaker on stage and I'm so motivated, but then Tuesday or Wednesday hits, then what, right? And so you mentioned consistency, and I do believe that it starts with the habits too that we are doing. I don't know what your habits are, your routine, but I'd love for you to share. Do you have a routine? Do you have certain habits you've cultivated to make it a non-issue that, hey, I'm going to stay consistent no matter what? How do you stay consistent? I kind of threw a couple of things at you at once.
No, that's great. And we can dive into wherever you want to take it, Diana.
Thank you.
I think as soon as you set a goal, if you get motivated by something, it's super cool. That's great. We need it. Nothing's going to happen until you do something. And for me, the easiest way to do something is to put in my calendar. Tuesday is my YouTube day. Every Tuesday, I'm thinking YouTube, I'm making videos. So we haven't missed an upload on YouTube in a decade, like a daily video in a decade plus. I don't know when the last time we missed an upload was. Why? Well, because I'm every Tuesday having my calendar, film video. So I'm not doing podcasts. I'm not meeting my team. I'm not doing anything else. It's blocked off that's my YouTube day. And so it's factored in. So I remember going, I went to a Tony Robbins event, and the first time I went, I took 5 people from my team, and one of the guys was coming out, and after day 1 or day 2 was in the streets yelling, happy, motivated, so excited. And I'm there, on my calendar working away. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you not more excited? It's like, well, I'm trying to put in action the things that came from this, because otherwise I'm going to fly back home and just go back to default, versus what are the habits that you need to do? So if it's, make a podcast, cool. What are the elements that have to be done for a podcast? We got to book guests. Okay. So what goes into making a show happen like this? How many outreaches do you have to do a day? When is that going to happen every week? Like, if you do outreach sporadically, you're never going to do it. If you wait till you're inspired, you're just never going to stay consistent. And so you put in your calendar, hey, every Tuesday morning for an hour, I'm going to do outreach to book people that I want to have on my show. And if nobody says yes, then on Wednesday, I'm going to spend an hour and make my own video, because the video has to go up. For us, the video has to go up. It's never perfect. It's almost never like ready. I could always tweak it 1,000 more times, but the video has to go up, and another video goes up tomorrow. And so that's the key, is like whatever your big goals are, how do you turn motivation into action? Whatever your big goals are, you have to translate it to the habit. And then the habit only happens when you put it in your calendar. So put in your calendar, block off time, make it happen for whatever goal. For you want to be a better husband or wife, cool. Block it off in your calendar to spend time.
True.
Right?
It's so true. A lot of people say, oh, we didn't do that thing. I said, if it doesn't go on my calendar, it's not going to happen. So I love that. Even personal things, even checking in with myself, even like in the middle of the day, I'm like, I have a little reminder, 15 minutes to just get my mind right, because sometimes I'm going so fast. And so I like that you said that. What happens when Evan Carmichael goes on vacation? What happens on those Tuesdays?
Most of the time I film in advance.
Okay.
And so my team will load me up with more videos in advance. But I'll also film when I'm away. Like, there's been lots of videos that I filmed off my iPhone, walking through Disney World and making a couple videos and posting.
It's funny you say that. Yeah.
Just not letting anything get in the way of the goal happening. So, like I'm here in my office. I have my nice camera. I have my microphone. Cool. It's easy to say, oh, well, I'm away. Great. I have my phone.
You got your phone. Make a video. As long as you can have a phone, you can make things happen anywhere you are. So I love that.
There was only one day that I didn't film in the past 10 year plus, and that was when my family dog died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And my team had enough in advance that we could bridge the gap, but that was the only. I could not get myself. And some people get it. Some people like, it's just a dog. Who cares? You know, if you know, when my parents pass, I don't know if I'll have it together. I don't know if I need a week off or a month off or who knows. Like I don't judge myself on that. But I filmed through, like I had a broken neck and I filmed, I had a concussion and I filmed, like I filmed
Oh my
through
goodness, no
all
excuses.
sorts of stuff. But when my dog died, I couldn't film. It's like, okay, I'm okay with that. If you don't follow through on the goal, for me, it's, are you proud of the reason why you didn't follow through? And so I'm okay that for me, when I broke my neck, that's not a good enough reason for me. For others, it might be cool, but my dog dying is a good enough reason. And so I'm fine with that.
With that, exactly.
So it's just, most of the time we're not proud of the reason why.
Right.
When you
it's
look
true.
back, you're like, I could have done it. I could have done it. I was just being lazy. I just had excuses. I really could have done it. That's what I'm trying to eliminate, at least for myself.
I love that, because you do know you can fool anybody else, but you can't fool yourself when you say, I can't do that thing. Really? Can you really not? Or do you just have to wake up 30 minutes earlier or an hour earlier? Don't tell me you can't do it. You just don't want to do it because it's not on the top priority. So what are you prioritizing in your life is really what I feel is going to show up in your life. And it's interesting when you say, you know, you don't have to feel like doing it. Sometimes I'm in Disney, wherever you are, especially with a broken neck. Hello. Talk about dedication, really. And I remember saying, I'm not feeling it today, but you know what? I'm going to talk about that. What happens when you don't feel like doing something? And it was like a great video. So I love that you commented on that, you know, being committed, it doesn't always have to be perfect. I think we always have, you know, the more critical on ourselves than the outside world sometimes on what we do and how we do it. So I love that you're consistent with that. And I think that that's the big ticket right there, is being consistent. And even with your mission, and something that I love too is empowering others to believe in themselves, to believe in the capabilities. You get one life to live in this world. Maybe you come back as a different person. I don't know what people believe, but regardless, this is one life that we live on this earth right now. Maybe the next time we come around, we'll be on some other planet that's not unreasonable. But how do we live our life to the full potential? And seeing my parents with such pain growing up, like you mentioned, our pain is usually what we end up talking about is regret, not regretting what you could have done, should have done, when in reality, when you do the thing you do, even what you said about consistency or put it on your calendar, then you do it, you're influencing yourself. And I truly believe, and tell me your thoughts really quick as we wrap up here. When you influence yourself, that increases your confidence. I know it increases my confidence, because I'm like, hey, I did that thing that I was dreading, but I committed and I did it. And that, I think, increases one's self-belief in themselves. Would you say? Yeah,
I mean, I think that's a great one to end on. I think when it's easy and you do it, you don't care. It's like if you win a race against 3-year-olds, who cares? Like you could have won that race running backwards. The gold medal doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
But when you show up and it's hard, like the videos I made with a broken neck, I still have I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I've got my neck brace on the wall.
Wow.
Those videos were not the best videos. Mm-hmm. They're not me at my best. But the fact that I did it with a broken neck and a concussion and like giant scab on my face was the best. It's like I did that it's showing up when it's hard is the thing that builds self-confidence, self-belief, self-esteem, as opposed to if you keep believing the reasons why you can't, then that's a downward spiral into telling yourself that you can't do it.
And when you tell yourself all the reasons why you can't, you're going to continue to believe all the reasons why you can't until you say, hey, break that cycle. What can I do? What do I have to work with? So awesome. Last question. I know I want to talk about your book, but I know, you know, we'll put it on our YouTube, your one word, which I really, really love that you mentioned about believe, #believe. What's a question that maybe not many people ask, if at all, that you wish they would ask you, Evan?
I wish people would ask the most important question to them. So when I go on shows, people often ask questions that they think their audience would care about. And all I want to answer the question that the host cares the most about.
Love that. And
often we'll end up having like post conversations if I have time. And that's like, why didn't you ask me that question when we were live? So there's no one question I wish I want to answer. I want to answer the most valuable question.
I love that.
To whoever I'm talking to.
And I did talk to you about some stuff that I felt myself in my journey. So I kind of took some for myself, and I told my team, like, you know, I'd love to ask questions that I want to know myself. Yes, I've read about you. Yes, I've heard this, but I want to hear certain things from you. And one other thing in 10 seconds, AI. How do you feel about using AI for YouTube, whether it's your descriptions? I know AI is a big topic in the universe right now.
It's going to be used for everything. That's like asking how to use electricity. Like it's going to be in everything. the description, the camera you use, the audio adjustments, the thumbnail design, the transcript, your research for guests,
Of course.
it's going to be everything.
It's going to be everywhere. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to comment?
If you like this video, just give Diana some love. Leave a comment, subscribe to her channel, let her know. It's a lot of work that goes into booking guests and putting a podcast together. And so if you like this episode or anything else that Diana has done, just let her know. It means a lot more than people think.
Absolutely. That is all on this episode with Evan Carmichael. I hope that you are fired up and ready to go make things happen, and that you remember in your journey as an entrepreneur, whatever journey that you're on, that consistency really plays a huge role in how you succeed, because you're telling yourself when you commit to that thing, you put it on your calendar and you follow through, heck or high water, that you make it happen. You're telling yourself what's possible. You're showing yourself that you can make things happen. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes coming your way. And I'd love to hear your feedback. What did you learn about this episode? What inspired you? Maybe something that you've already implemented. Put your comments below. I'll see you on the next one.